Right now, police in Denver are looking for a car that took off after a crash involving another car and two people walking on the sidewalk. So this all happened at 14th and Logan about 4:45 Sunday. Police say two drivers hit one another. Then one of those drivers hit two pedestrians. That driver stayed at the scene, but police say the other car just drove right off. The pedestrians have some serious injuries.
Also happening now, police in Denver are investigating the death of a 17-year-old girl. They found her body in an alley late Saturday night. Police say someone called them around 12:30 a.m. about a woman on the ground off Colfax in Quebec. Police say there is evidence indicating she was murdered, though they won't share any other details. They haven't shared any suspect information either.
Today, the Denver Police Protective Association is expected to hold a press conference regarding the ruling in favor of protesters who allege DPD used excessive force in the 2020 protest of the killing of George Floyd. On Friday, a jury awarded $14 million to 12 plaintiffs over the Denver Police Department's actions during those protests. These 12 people brought the federal case against DPD, claiming their civil rights were violated. The group argues they were protesting peacefully, just exercising their First Amendment rights, and the court agreed with that. This press conference is expected to start at noon today. Jordan Chavez is going to dig deeper into this for you at 6:35.
Peace talks between Russia and Ukraine are set to resume as early as today. That's according to one member of the Ukrainian delegation. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he's ready to discuss adopting a neutral, non-nuclear status as part of a peace deal. In an interview with Russian independent journalist, Zelensky said, quote, "This was the first point of principle for the Russian Federation, as I recall, and as far as I remember, they started the war because of this," end quote. Now, some context. Ukraine pledged neutrality when it gained independence in 1991. That changed after Russia's annexation of the Crimean Peninsula in 2014. Any agreement would have to be put to the Ukrainian people in a referendum.
President Biden did not mince words, and 9 words in particular from President Biden are now drawing criticism from around the world.
Yeah, the president says he was not calling for regime change in Russia after saying that President Vladimir Putin cannot remain in power.
NBC's Bree Jackson is in Washington, where the administration continues to walk back the comments.
Good morning to you in Denver. President Biden has stepped up his criticism of Vladimir Putin in recent days, and some worry that the president's recent comments could further escalate tensions with Russia. President Biden says he's not calling for a regime change in Russia.
Mr. President, were you calling for regime change?
No. After making this comment about Vladimir Putin during a fiery speech in Poland Saturday.
For God's sake, this man cannot remain in power.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken reiterating the administration's stance.
We do not have a strategy of regime change in Russia or anywhere else for that matter.
Republicans warn the president's remarks could further escalate tensions.
It plays into the hands of the Russian propagandists and plays into the hands of Vladimir Putin.
Democrats stress it's up to the Russian people to decide who is in power and that the U.S. is focused on defending Ukraine against Putin's attacks.
He is depleting critical resources from his own nation for this awful war. So I just don't see how this ends well for him.
U.S. officials say Russian forces are struggling to make progress in the first month of the conflict, forcing them to scale back on their military goals. But there are concerns that battlefield failures will lead to even more aggression from the Kremlin.
There are no red lines for Putin and his cronies.
Ukrainian leaders say they are ready to negotiate an end to the war, but won't surrender. Peace talks between Russia and Ukraine continue this week, with negotiations taking place in Turkey today. In Washington, I'm Bree Jackson for 9 News.